Welcome everyone, this is Fallen Millennial, and new channel. Want to do some just random things, and starting with, I'd like to look at the Last of Us remake launch trailer. The Last of Us Part 1 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'd like to analyze it, take a look at it, and go through and just see what's new, what changes things, what's different about it, and what we can spot out from the trailer at least, and go from there. So let's get started.
Now, the girl.
Wow, his face looks a lot better.
What girl? I don't know no girl.
Start with the two. That's one of the two people that Joel captures as he's looking for Ellie towards the last third of the game. Well, actually, kind of a little bit later than that, maybe the last quarter of the game or more. And this is after you've played as Ellie, and Ellie's been captured. And so, if you go back and play the original, those two guys' faces are muddled like a lot of the NPCs in the game are that aren't regular characters. So that looks a lot better.
She's alive.
Wow.
Where?
Mm.
In the town. In the town.
This looks like it's. Now this is from the DLC Left Behind. So this is in the mall where Ellie's out trying to find supplies while Joel is out at the house. It's not part of the main game, but it's part of the DLC that you learn kind of Ellie's backstory, where she pings back and forth between trying to find supplies for Joel, which is this part, and her remembering going through a mall with Riley right before the game starts. Like, I think it's like 2 weeks, because she says the bite is 2 weeks old at the beginning of the game. So this is about 2 weeks before this DLC takes place, 2 weeks before the start of the game, and during this later part of the game where Joel has gotten injured at the University of Eastern Colorado.
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You do what I say, when I say it.
Joel, I can handle myself.
It's called luck, and it is gonna run out.
There's a lot of looks from the part 2.
Run! There's too many of them!
Henry and Sam.
The hallways, come on.
Oh, this is the truck certainly looks better, and from what you can tell, the Raiders look better too. Now the Hunters. Certainly, you've added some more detail there. I mean, you can zoom in all the way in if you want to, and kind of see what at least as an overview, kind of see what the look on Ellie's face is. And while Hank Williams plays in the background, let's hope they didn't change that.
Do you even realize what your life means?
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of?
A lot of the models look like they have the same fidelity or even better fidelity of The Last of Us Part 2. They've certainly changed Ellie's look. Ellie looks older in this game. And I think she's 14. If I remember what she tells Joel correctly at the beginning of the game, I believe she's 14. She looks a lot older. Okay, let's go back through. Let's see. I want to try to catch some views of there were some characters there at the end there. I saw Tess for just a split second. I mean, look how much older she looks right here. I mean, I guess what they're trying to do is try to map her backwards from the visual changes they made in part 2 to the character. But I mean, she does look a lot older there.
Do you even realize what your life means?
I mean, that right there, this right here is from actually a part of the game that's in the trailer for the new show too. But this is where the scene is from. Is this scene? And gosh, I mean, Joel, of course, does look a lot older there too. I want to see if I can find something there. There's the school. This is with Bill at the beginning. That's swimming at the end of the game. You find her. That's in Pittsburgh. That's in the DLC. This is when you have to electrify all the things in the water. And this is, I mean, you have to say that the graphical fidelity. Oh, there's Henry. And is that how he's supposed to look, or did I just catch him off the mid-blink? I guess I called him mid-blink. There's Riley, was right there. Yeah, so, well, it's hard to catch her. Riley looks the same to me, but they've taken some of the visual style has been altered for sure compared to what it was. The visual style of the original game and into the remaster, almost in some ways had a cell shaded look to it, but looks like they've modified that a little bit. So here's Tommy and I forgot her name. Diane. I can't remember her name now. I'm going blank. Oh yeah! Wow. Yeah, he looks a lot different. Sarah looks a lot of the same. Yeah, I mean Sarah looks consistent, but at least in that shot, ooh, he looks a lot different. I thought I saw Tess somewhere in here. That's when he falls off and gets hurt. Did I not see Tess? There's the school. That's when she's running from David. Right there, she's running from David. Let's go back and...
Now, the girl. Is she alive?
I mean, that looks a lot better.
I don't know no
girl. A lot better.
She's alive. Where? In the town. In the town.
I don't know if how much they've changed here, but I don't know. I do get the feeling some of the visual changes here look a lot closer to Last of Us Part 2 than they did, which is fine.
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You do what I say.
So there's Tess. Maybe that's where I saw Tess.
You do what I say when I say it.
After Tess.
Joel, I can handle myself.
It's called love.
That's at the beginning of the game when you're still with Tess.
And it is gonna run out.
You hear that? Run! There's too many of them!
You better haul ass, come on. Do you even realize what your life means?
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of?
Oh, there was Tess. I thought I saw Tess somewhere in there. Whoa, she looks a lot older. Wow. I always took it as Tess was a good bit younger than Joel, but gosh, there she looks like she's the same age as Joel. Woo. Now I haven't read up on the wiki or nothing. I just love the game. But wow, that's a lot different. I mean, but Joel does look a lot closer. I mean, I think in the original game he was supposed to be 30, and of course the prologue is 30. He's 30 in the prologue is what I mean. And then it takes place, fast forwards 20 years, and so he's about 50. And I think that could have been, so it's about 50 in the original game, and part 2 takes place 5 years after that, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, this looks closer, kind of all things considered, the world they're living in, what he would look like. But Tess, I just always assumed Tess was like 10 years younger than Joel. Well, I have to say, I think it looks pretty good. Some of the stylistic things that have changed, I have to wait to see what it looks like. I very much did like the art style of the original game and how it was updated in the remastered version, because it kind of had a realistic cel-shaded approach is almost what it looked like, and that may not have been what they were going for, and it was just limitations of the technology, but I liked it. And some of the changes here seem to change that a little bit, which is fine. I mean, there's always been parts, even in the remaster, that didn't look quite right. The one that always stands out for me every single time I play the game is at the beginning, where you're playing as Sarah, or you've just finished playing as, or you're still playing as Sarah, and Joel busts in and he kills the neighbor, and Tommy shows up and he kind of rushes up to her, into her face, and grabs her and says, we got to get out of here. That part right there always looked so bad. Like, it looked bad to me. Even on the PS3 when I first played it, it stood out graphically from most of the rest of the game. So there's things like that where there's certainly things that could have been changed and probably should have been changed. So I think it looks pretty good. So I say let's give it the benefit of the doubt, wait till it comes out, wait till we see what the game looks like, and go from there. So I say, so far so good. Thanks for watching.